63% of Gen Z reports poor mental health, compared to just 28% of baby boomers. But here's what's really shocking. It's not what everyone thinks it is. Everyone blames phones and social media. But research on the real data discovered will completely change how you see this generation. Stay with me, because what I'm about to show you affects everyone: parents, employers, and especially if you're Gen Z yourself. Let me hit you with some numbers that will blow your mind. 1 in 4 Gen Z says their mental health declined in just the past 3 years. They're 3 times more likely to report poor mental health than millennials were at the same age. Over 40% report feeling persistently sad or hopeless. And here's the kicker: they're entering adulthood with anxiety levels higher than psychiatric patients from the 1950s. But here's what everyone gets wrong. This isn't just about phones and TikTok. That's the surface-level explanation that completely misses the real psychological catastrophe happening. Cause number 1: the optimization trap. Gen Z is the first generation raised under what I call optimization culture. From birth, they've been told they need to optimize everything. Optimize their college applications with 15 extracurriculars. Optimize their bodies, their productivity, their relationships. Optimize their Instagram feed, their LinkedIn profile, their dating app presence. This creates what psychologists call chronic optimization anxiety, the constant feeling that you're never enough, never optimized enough, never perfect enough. Cause number 2: the future collapse. Unlike previous generations, Gen Z doesn't believe in the future. And here's why they're actually rational to feel this way. Housing prices have increased 400%, while wages increased 20%. They'll need to work until they're 75 to afford retirement. Climate change anxiety is real. 75% believe the world will be worse when they're older. They watched the American dream collapse before they even got a chance to try it. The psychological term for this is learned helplessnesses. When you believe your actions won't change your outcomes, depression is inevitable. Cause number 3: the connection paradox. Here's the most fascinating part. Gen Z is simultaneously the most connected and most lonely generation ever. They have 1,000 online friends, but can't make plans with anyone. They get validation from strangers, but feel misunderstood by family. They're experts at performing happiness online while dying inside. Social media didn't just change how they communicate, it rewired their brains to crave external validation for self-worth. Without likes, comments, and shares, they literally don't know if they matter. Cause number 4: the therapy generation paradox. Here's what's really wild. Gen Z talks about mental health more than any generation. They're more likely to go to therapy. They understand psychological concepts better than trained therapists from 30 years ago. And they're still the most depressed. Why? Because awareness without action creates what I call therapy paralysis. They can diagnose their problems perfectly, but feel powerless to change them. But here's what no one is talking about: the real psychological mechanism destroying Gen Z's mental health: identity fragmentation. Previous generations had clear identity markers. Boomers, career defined them. Gen X, rebellion defined them. Millennials, experiences define them. Gen Z, they're told to be everything simultaneously. Be authentic, but also personal. Brand yourself. Be vulnerable, but also professionally perfect. Care about everything climate, social justice, mental health, productivity, but also take care of yourself. Their brains are literally fragmenting, trying to hold all these contradictory identities simultaneously. It's like psychological multitasking. And just like regular multitasking, it's impossible and exhausting. Here's what research says: Gen Z isn't broken. Gen Z is the canary in the coal mine. They're the first generation experiencing what happens when hypercapitalism meets human psychology. Digital connection replaces human connection. Performance culture replaces authentic culture. Optimization, obsession replaces self-acceptance. Their depression isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's their psyche's natural response to an inhuman system. And here's the scary part: every generation after them will face the same psychological pressures, but even more intensely. So, what's the solution? It's not just get off social media or just think positive. The solution is understanding that Gen Z's mental health crisis is actually a spiritual crisis disguised as a psychological one. They need permission to be imperfect in an optimization-obsessed world, real connection in a digitally mediated environment, meaning beyond performance metrics, hope for a future worth working toward. This isn't about individual therapy. This is about collective healing from a system that's psychologically toxic to human beings. If you're Gen Z watching this, your mental health struggles aren't a personal failure. You're responding normally to an abnormal situation. If you're a parent or employer, stop blaming their phones and start understanding the psychological reality they're navigating. Drop a comment and tell me which of these causes resonated most with you. Are you seeing this in your own life or the Gen Z people around you? And if this opened your eyes to what's really happening, share this video. Someone needs to hear this today. Subscribe for more videos breaking down the psychology behind what's really happening in our world. Because the mainstream explanations aren't telling you the whole truth.